All right, I have not updated in a while because today is day one for me to be sober. I'm back at day one. I've been dealing with a lot of negativity, a lot of issues that I don't even want to dwell on. I'm not even going to talk about them. They would just, frankly, they're just excuses at this point. Can I control those things? No. Was I doing all the things I could to make sure those things weren't happening? Also, no. I was getting deeper and deeper into that negativity and into the frustration. But today is day one, and that is a positive, and I am going to focus on reformulating, reshifting, re-engaging back into this mode of forward momentum. I'm the kind of person that operates on goal points. I go from here to there, and once I get there, I find the next point, and I go from there to there. And this last time, I went from here to go to there, and as soon as I stepped off, I was so stuck in the negativity that there didn't exist. So I just spread my brain out into all these directions, trying to find the next there point. Even if that there wasn't the greatest place, even if that wasn't gonna help me all that much, at least it was a landing point. The frustration and negativity got the best of me. The depression got the best of me. I tried doing everything I could, but I was so stuck in the negativity and the frustration that the anger came, and I just said, screw it then. If this is gonna happen, then I'm gonna start drinking again. That is not what I should have done. I have these videos posted up here on my channel, and in some of them I talk about I'm going to use these as things for me to come back and look at as reasons to remember not to drink again. Sometimes you don't want to look at your own face. Sometimes you don't want to hear your own voice. And sometimes you don't want to stop yourself from making a bad decision. And I have to regroup. I have to put myself back into a bit of constraints, which for me is not an easy process. I imagine for many people it's not, when you have to lock yourself in. But when staying sober becomes easier than dealing with the frustration of the things that you don't have control over, then staying sober it is. That's what I have control over. I have control over my reaction. I have control over how I respond, and then the things that I do to deal with whatever it is that I don't have control over. I have control over my response. So I'm refocusing. Day one. Well, day 1.5. I'm ashamed of myself, but I've got to look at some sort of positive point in all of this. And I was going to say day one because last night was actually day one. So 1.5. Tonight will be 2. I'm halfway to 2. In that 1.5 to 2. I have people that have told me, hey, when you're in the middle of this, when you're about to that point, reach out for help. I'm not a person who asks for help. I'm not. Even at this point of me coming back into the positivity, coming back in my brain, the clearness, the cloud is lifting. I only drank again for a couple of weeks, but only is too much. So I was very, very buried in my frustration. Patience has never been my virtue, but maybe someday I'll learn it. So this is my update, short and sweet. I'm just going to keep it to the point. Health issues are worse than they were before. That's part of the frustration, but it's going to get figured out one way or another. One guarantee is everything comes to a conclusion. Everything gets worked out at some point, even if that some point is the end point. Everything works itself out. It's not very comforting, but it's a fact. So shifting gears into doing what I can do, taking care of what I can take care of, trying to take care of other things that are out of my control, but giving into the fact that if it doesn't work, then I'm not just giving up, but then I gotta figure out what does work. So here it is, day 1.5. I cannot let it get the best of me again. I have to keep this going. I have to keep this going. If the doctors aren't going to help me to heal me, then I have to do everything I can to heal me. What did we do before doctors understood any of these things? We had to figure out ways to deal with what we're going through, right? So that's it. Keep it moving. Depression sucks. Find something to do. And my something to do today is talking about how depression got the best of me and how I'm fighting my ass back, fighting my way back. Even if all the things want to try to stop you, even if your body wants to try to stop you. If I'm going to be in pain, I'm going to be in pain for good reasons. And if those reasons help clear my brain, but my body hurts even more, as long as my brain is getting clearer, I've got to do everything I can. I have to do everything I can to fight my way back. And that is my goal. I'm starting from here and I'm stepping off. And my goal isn't going to just be 2-step. My goal obviously is going to be way down the road, but I'm going to keep walking. I've got to stop thinking short term. I've got to stop thinking like a temporary person. I've spent too much of my life thinking as a temporary person. I have to stretch those goals out, and I have to look further beyond the things that are gonna come up. Inevitably, historically speaking, what do we know? What do we know about ourselves? Myself, I know that problems arise. Sometimes those problems are like, nah, all right, man, I'm gonna deal with this. Sometimes those problems are like, I'm gonna avoid this. Sometimes those problems are ones that try to crush me and knock me down. And I know that. I know that. So I need to stop expecting that they're going to stop. They're not gonna stop. That's life. So I've got to look beyond the points, but keeping my eyes open and my head on a swivel and knowing that problems are going to come up. The enemy is gonna show itself. It's gonna show itself time and time again. And I have to be prepared for that. I have to prepare my body, my mind, and my soul. I think that's the one piece that I've continued to avoid is preparing my soul. I've just been looking at the body and the mind, but I have to add that third component in. Whatever that looks like, whatever that feels like, whatever that turns into being, I have to add that component in. It's going to be another source of strength, and I have to utilize all the tools that are available to me. So that's fact, and that's what I'm going to do. Depression sucks, and today this is what I'm doing, is I'm talking about what knocked me down and how I'm not going to let that happen again. I have to focus beyond the problems, pay attention to the fact that those problems are going to arise. So here we go.